Good morning, Yuan. How are you?
Good morning, Sir Alan. I'm good. Thanks for having me here.
Welcome to our OFW meetings. I'm Alan Erstein, and my guest today is Yuan Pancho of Sun Life Philippines. Yeah. Before I'm gonna ask our viewers to like our page and subscribe to our Facebook channel. In our YouTube channel. And Yuan, I know this year has been very tough, para sa lahat. Mahirap yung pera, mahirap kumilos, and I want sana kayong mga nasa financial professions to matulungan naman yung ating fellow OFWs kung ano ba yung pwede nilang gawin sa panahon na ganito. Kasi usually pag medyo maganda ang buhay, everything is fine, we tend to, forget about the future or prepare kung ano ang emergencies or kung ano mang hurdles along the way. So I believe today you will talk about your 5 steps of financial confidence. Oh, but before that, introduce mo muna sarili mo sa kanila. Sa ating mga viewers.
Thank you, Sir Alan, for having me. I'm so honored and so thrilled to be sharing this space with you and to be sharing this wonderful advocacy for our OFWs, for our fellow Filipinos abroad, no? And hugot lang ako dun sa binanggit niyo muna, Sir Alan, no, about, most of the time we tend to overlook yung mga personal decisions natin in life kasi we're so happy, everything's doing well and all that. But I guess pandemic has actually given us so much time
to reflect,
to really reflect and to really pause. And I know I've met a lot of people during this pandemic and we share the same and common story na parang they had been struggling, but the fact that they were given so much time, they were able to reflect and pause and to really think through of what's really going to be the plan in the following years to come. And ito yung time talaga na nag-boom din yung financial industry here in the Philippines. It's probably because for the longest time, Filipinos are not really thinking about their future. Ngayon parang right in our faces we are actually given situations like, we get these stories news, no, na parang yung mga kakilala natin na all of a sudden biglang nagkasakit, biglang, they're confined in the hospital and, these horror stories about liquidating their properties and everything. So doon talaga sila nagkaroon ng ultimately parang time to reflect and really think ano ba yung mga next step ko in order for me to be able to in order for them to be able to face if there's going to be next pandemic. And I want to highlight then na the talk that I'll be sharing with you, it's really the 5 steps to financial confidence, because I really believe that there's really no financial freedom. I guess my personal take on being able to liberate ourselves with with the decisions in life, especially with the finances. It's really about making sure that we are more than confident in facing these personal decisions. So I always talk to my clients, I always talk to my friends about really building this confidence, and it's really questioning ourselves, really posing these questions. Parang the financial confidence is about kaya ko bang gawin itong mga decision na to because of my personal situation right now, and that's what we're going to share with you today.
Yeah. Actually, personally, ako every end of the month nagko-compute ako, and the normal budget of the month, but hindi mawawala sa isip mo yung paano ko mangyari ito. I have fears. I mean, siguro medyo prepared ako, but once na mag-usap na tayo, paano if you have to come up or let go of millions, ang iniisip ko na is like, okay, paano makaka-apekto to sa mga bata para sa future nila? Kasi I've seen, since nasa real estate ka rin, nakita ko ngayon how people let go of their properties para lang sa mga emergencies. I mean, dati parang investment, like ibebenta ko to dahil mag-abroad ako, ipang-replacement ko, ganyan-ganyan. Ngayon, is ibebenta dahil may emergency. And minsan, sinishare sa Facebook yung mga picture ng bill ng ospital. Di ba? Nakakatakot talaga. Kung talagang if you don't have that money, or I mean, hindi yung basta-basta may hihingi mo or mahihiram mo kasi sometimes we're talking about hundreds to millions of di ba? Sa pesos. So ngayon na lang mag-ano yan magre-register sa'yo. Sa experience ko kasi back in 2008 hanggang 2010 yun yung time na umano yung crisis, yung financial crisis dati. Yun yung aking kumbaga epiphany as an OFW na sabi ko noon, uy, nawawalan rin pala bumababa din pala ang ekonomiya ng mga bansang pinagtatrabahuan ng mga Pilipino. Pwede rin pala mawala sa isang iglap din pala. That time was, I mean, it's not just like yung sa ngayon, na grabe talaga. But during that time, ganun din tanggalan. But the good thing about it is isang tanggalan, after that recovery na. Yung financial crisis. Ito, hindi, gradual, bigla yung iba, tapos meron pa recurring yung So yung fear mo talaga naglinger na hanggang years or pa 2 years na ba tayo?
2 years.
2 years na. So I really want to talk to someone like you guys sa industry nyo kung ano bang pwedeng protection nating mga OFW. Alam ko iba-iba yung ating mga circumstances, but if we can, sit down and reflect and compute ano ba yung magagawa ng mga tulad nyo na nasa financial industry para sa mga ating mga OFWs na, mayroong takot, mayroong pag-aalala sa panahon ngayon. So, Yuan, please go with your 5 steps to financial confidence.
Yeah. Unahan ko muna, Sir Allen, no? I think the beauty with whatever we're having right now with the pandemic is, instead of operating from space of fear, I understand yung mga takot natin sa katawan natin na parang paano pag ganito yung nangyari and all that. I think we need to operate from the space of parang excitement in terms of ano kaya yung mga possibilities na pwede kong makuha or pwedeng i-offer sa akin ng current situation right now. And I guess going into 2 years na in pandemic, no, I know may mga kakilala ka na siguro parang up to this times they're still struggling, but marami rin akong mga stories na na-receive na ang mga stories nila talaga is really more about transformation. It's really about them really taking the time to understand ano na yung next move nila. So mga kabayan, mga fellow listeners, no, dito sa ating programa, I encourage you, even if you're outside the Philippines, to have a good sit-down Zoom meeting with your financial advisor. Kasi the beauty with really understanding where you are would really start from the time that you do the financial planning. And the financial planning is going to be a different process for every different person. Like po, sa inyo, Sir Allen, you have your family, you have your kids, you're in a different process or in different situation versus sa mga kababayan natin siguro na either they're single, na sumusuporta sa kanilang magulang or may pinapag-aral pa sa Pilipinas, or single pero in essence wala talaga silang parang responsibilidad dito sa Pilipinas, right? So these are the different situations, and I would encourage everyone for you to have that meeting with your financial advisor. So didiretsuhin ko na what I always say with my clients on how for you to be able to build your financial confidence is to really understand your personal numbers, right? Yung data mo talaga kailangan alamin mo. Like I think I've heard you, Sir Allen, na binanggit mo kanina na parang naglilista kayo. I guess
Oh,
for,
yeah.
di ba? For
Naging habit ko na siya. Medyo, minsan you don't like the numbers. Kasi minsan, may gusto kong bilhin rin kahit paano. But, you have your obligations, financial obligations. And minsan isang araw nga, nahuli ko ang anak ko na bumubutong hininga. But it's not that bad. But, may time na ako, alam mo yung parang minsan gusto mo na magmadali. Madaliin mo yung mga goals mo, which is normal. Magaganon ka hanggang kailan pa kaya to. Alam mo yun? Kasi it is a boring, kasi boring process eh. Minsan nakakainip. Mamadaliin mo, di ba?
that's true.
And yung discipline. Yung anuhin mo, tapos yung pag-control mo ng emotions. Doon ako minsan, hindi mo nahihirapan, but identified ko siya, alam ko siyang pero hindi mo pa rin maalis sarili mo eh. Gaganon ka pa na gano'n pa. Babayaran naman pala to. And nagbiro nga ako minsan, sabi ko, alam mo yung pinakamagandang kotse is yung company car. Kasi every time I have to register, pay the insurance, maintenance. It gives me so much anxiety.
Bayad na gas.
It's so much give me anxiety. Whereas kung naka-company car ako, I just drive, okay. I drive ko nga, hindi ko na alam hindi ko na, wala na akong pakialam kahit anong modelo pa yan. Basta driving ko, hindi ako nagbabayad. Because it takes a big chunk sa budget mo eh. Hindi mo makakita yan. Pero kung may company car ka, kumbaga yung pera na instead na tinatapon mo sa sasakyan mo, mapupunta sa iba, where for savings or investments or pwede sa parents mo. So, may mga ganun akong every month na kuro-kuro sa ano. But, it is what it is, sabi nga.
Pero 'di ba Sir Allen, sabi nga nila yung success talaga nangyayari sa mga most boring routines,
yes.
Right?
Yes, true.
Like sa Olympics, we see yung mga nananalo talaga ng mga medalists. These are the people who have actually gone through the same usual routines and all that. And yeah, it's boring, but these are the ways and means for us to be able to be more successful. I guess the fact na you can see your numbers, that's already a success kasi that gives you that sense of awareness, right? Di ba sa inyo, sir, napapabuntong hininga ka kasi parang, ito pala yung situation ko. And then that gives you that kind of clarity and, parang download of creativity. Parang, okay, ano pa kayang pwede kong gawin? Ano pa kayang pwede kong tanggalin from my money leaks for me to be able to get into this situation?
Okay.
Right.
All right. Give me your 5 steps to financial confidence. Yeah, all right. So that malaman natin mga kabayan, fellow OFW who's watching us, yung ano ba yung 5 steps na yan, to help them with their...
Yan. Sige, Sir Allen. So, after this, kung kailangan nyo pa talaga ng mas malalim na financial planning, sabi ko, you can contact your financial advisor. Pero I'll start now with the first step.
You can contact Yuan.
You can contact me.
You can contact Yuan. His details will be posted. So don't worry.
Yes.
You can contact Yuan anytime.
And we can do Zoom meeting. So first step, Sir Allen, the first step is for you to increase your cash flow. So paano ba yung increase your cash flow? On the basic side of things, it's either you get employed with a higher pay, that's one, or number 2, you go for side hustle. So a lot of people, especially this time sa pandemic,
Grabe.
they're doing work from home, pero at the same time, they were able to kumbaga, embrace their personal pursuits of learning. So di nila na-realize, marunong pala silang mag-bake. Marunong pa silang they do the online selling. I know some people who have actually learned how to do e-commerce. So pwede ko palang ibenta yung mga products and services ko. And not only that, they've learned how to do search engine optimization, Facebook ads. It's really about learning these new steps kasi
Fintech.
Yes, fintech, di ba? Yung skills
Financial
kasi,
technology.
yes, that's true. Kasi parang, the only way for us to be more innovative is for us to know more and to add value to ourselves, right? Kasi parang now, may mga kakilala ako na they're offering their services to run Facebook ads, right? So I really don't have time to do the Facebook ads myself. So if there's an agency who can actually do that for me, I'm actually going to pay for them. So they're doing their work, but at the same time, they have their side hustle. So that's what it means with increasing your cash flow. And you can also inject on that, Sir Allen, yung really understanding your numbers when it comes to personal finance. Kasi I'll share with you a concept. It's what we call 60-20-20 rule. So the idea with the 60-20-20 rule, Sir Allen, is if you're getting this amount of paycheck every month, 60% of that should go to your OPEX, yung operating expenses mo. So yan yung mga renta mo, if you're paying for your gas, yung groceries mo and all that. And then the remaining 20 of your pay would go to your investing activities. So ito yung nilalagay mo sa savings mo, nilalagay mo sa retirement fund mo, if you're paying for your insurance policies. So yan yung 20%. And then of course, the rest in 20%, I call it parang Llamerda fund. It's these funds that you'll use for your,
whatever your wants.
For whatever goes, right. So when you understand kung saan napupunta yung money mo, sometimes, Sir Allen, di ba, like when you do your number check, parang, meron akong kulang dito sa OPEX ko. Pero hindi ko naman pwedeng alisin sa investing activities yung money, right? Kasi dapat na doon talaga yun. So what you do, you check whether may mga items ka dito sa Llamerda funds mo that you could actually let go muna for a month, maybe for 2, so you can transfer it dito sa OPEX mo. Or maybe you're trying to purchase a big ticket item, and what you want to do is to maybe itong third column mo, which is the Llamerda fund, hindi ko muna to lalagyan ng anything kasi meron akong pinaplano. So that's the 60-20-20 concept na I always share to my clients. And then they understand parang, okay, hindi naman pala mahirap mag-open ng insurance policy or mag-open ng stock trading account. Kasi what you do is you just set these numbers and see kung meron ka talagang pwedeng pagkuhanan pa. Kasi kukurot ka lang naman eh. And you won't be able to see that, you won't be able to check on that if hindi ka talaga naglilista, hindi ka talaga nag-check ng numbers mo. So that's number 1.
That's number 1. All right. Increase your
cash
flow.
Yes.
But yun nga, I want to point out, maraming nawala ng trabaho during the pandemic. But you said yourself, maraming naging trabaho rin na medyo kakaiba na, kumbaga wala siyang official title. Hindi ka, kasi during ng unang lockdown, merong nag-offer na services nila na mamalengke sila para sa'yo. And they're doing this na hindi lang text or tawag-tawag. They're doing this, may mga page sila, may message mo sila. At some point, may app na, okay, kung isang oras ako dyan sa government agency para lakarin ko yan, ito yung bayad mo sa akin din, kung ano ba pabili mo. Mga ganun eh. And ano siya eh, super interesting siya sa akin eh. Kasi may mga taong, they just not gonna sit and just give up forget lockdown, talagang nag-isip talaga sila na, uy, ano bang hindi makakalabas tong senior citizen na to? Ano ito? Kahit pa 50-50 pesos ang iba it goes up to 300 yata yung bayad. But kung makakailang runs sila per day, they have something. Kahit pa paano. Kasi naging essential worker usually mga nasa palengke eh. And these are the same people na nag-o-offer ng services na yun kasi sila yung may parang pass talaga para lumabas. So, yes, maraming nawalan trabaho, but marami ring na-discover ang sarili nila na, meron pala silang entrepreneur spirit, meron pala silang skill for baking, cooking, and business. Like, makikipag-usap pa sa mga tao. So, yeah, there's a negative effect ng pandemic, but we can't deny meron din naging positive effect siya. Lalo dun sa mga madiskarte, like mga hustlers talaga. So, all right, let's go to your second step.
Yung second step naman, sir, it's about debt management. So I always say, if you're going to start or you're going to purchase or even decide on a big ticket purchase, or like even a personal decision na mag-open ka ng insurance policy, we have to make sure that your debts are in good place. So, di ba, meron tayong good debts, meron tayong bad debts.
Alright.
So, if you have a loan dahil nagbabayad ka ng bahay, that's okay. Pero yung mga consumer debts natin that usually we get to swipe with our credit cards, yun. If we could manage that first before we can, we need, kumbaga, parang the habit of really taking into the consideration magkano yung lumalabas sa atin dahil sa mga utang natin. Hindi natin ma-realize yun hanggat hindi natin siya nauupuan. So what if you're actually paying for 5,000 for your consumer debts every month, while in fact you can actually put maybe just half of that sa iyong insurance policy every month. So it's, at the end of the day, hindi naman pala talaga mahirap mag-decide to do, these personal decisions. So even before you decide in opening your insurance policy or trading account, make sure that your debts are actually in the right places.
Yeah, it's better. Kunyari, may utang ka. Saan mo ibabawas yun sa 60-20-20 rule mo? Automatic, salya mierda ka agad ang bawas.
Dapat ya merda, wala. Oo. Kung
And
bawa,
then, sa 60, babawasan mo rin yung, kumbaga, you're gonna live...
pwede bawasan yung OPEX.
Oo, yung OPEX. You're gonna live in a cheaper place, siguro. Or rent, okay.
Or pwede kung di ka muna magrenta, mag-stay ka muna sa parents mo. Kung dito ka sa Pilipinas, right? So, yung mga ganun, I think you need to be very creative in attacking how you can actually play with your numbers. And people would actually support you.
Yeah, okay. But paano yung yung like yung mga sinusuportahan yung parents nila? May mga ganun may utang ka na, sinusuportahan mo ang parents nila, but gusto mo rin yung future mo medyo okay. Saan tayo pwede bumawas sa ganun?
That's the biggest challenge.
60-20 rule. But anyway, you mentioned increase your cash flow. So that means, diba, may day job ka, which take care of your 60-20-20 rule. Your side hustle can be part of your debt management.
Yes. Pwede, sir.
And yung investing mo or savings. So there's no other way talaga but to, work on it.
Yes.
Tatrabahuin mo talaga. There's no easy way around sa problem na yun, lalo pag may utang tayo. Alright.
Madagdag ko lang, sir, dun sa utang. Halimbawa, meron kang utang na maybe sa tao or sa isang credit card company. Credit card companies could actually help you with your interest rates. You just need to talk to them. If you can just do parang payment arrangement with them. So let's say if you have 10 utang, check mo kung sino yung pinakamataas ang interest doon, and then do a payment arrangement with that company. Or if that a person, you can just talk to the person, parang maybe I can maybe in 6 months time I'll be able to pay for this. So you just have to strike that conversation first and see what are your options.
No, okay. So do we move on number 3, or you wanna elaborate pa sa debt?
Okay na yun sa debt, sir. So number 3 naman, number 3 is build your emergency fund. So yan, medyo medyo, I think very striking siya this time, no? Parang
Yes.
yung mga medyo na paralyzed the onset of pandemic. If siguro kung may natabi ka na emergency fund, malamang baka medyo chill ka pa, right?
Na siya or
Pwedeng nag-deplete na rin siya at some point. But that's the beauty of having an emergency fund kasi you can still be creative for, in such period of time. Maybe yung emergency fund is good for 3 months or 6 months, but the rule of the thumb is at least minimum is you have 3 months worth of your monthly pay or your monthly expenses. Pero if you have 6 months, hindi mas maganda. Pero the beauty of having that kind of parang financial cushion is you can still search for, may mga stories tayo na wala ng trabaho, right? Or talaga na redundant sila and everything, but they have that financial cushion that they have used. So nakapaghanap sila ng work, nag-engage sila with themselves and see ano yung pwede pa nilang gawin as a side hustle. And I think that they were able to be very successful with their decisions.
So yung nabasa ko sa US, ang school of thought ngayon pagdating sa emergency fund is 8 to a year. Because ang reasoning nila is that is the amount of time na makakahanap ka ng trabaho na nawala sa'yo dati. Because they're looking at yung financial obligation mo during that time na nawalan ka ng trabaho. Kasi usually meron kang, ang tawag nito, may amortization ka sa bahay or may car payments ka. Yes, may mga unemployment insurance yung mga, Western countries. But it's never enough to cover dun sa financial obligations nila. Pwede mo muna i-start yung, kumbaga, yung house payment mo. But, the interest mag-i-incur pa rin naman yan. Pinatigil mo yung bayad. And like sa US, hindi lahat ng cities merong extensive na public transportation. So most of them really need a car. Yun ang sabi, isang pinaka-importante daw nila is you need to have a mode of transportation to get you to your job site. Kasi if you cannot go there or cannot reach there, mawawala rin yung trabaho sa'yo. So ang iba, sa kanila, 1 year ang dapat nilang expenses sa mas-save nila. Sa atin, medyo siguro sa atin in 6 months time, baka may trabaho ka na ulit. I mean, it's not gonna be the same, but you could find a job. And then sa dami nga ng unregulated na mga side hustles natin, di ba? You just have to get it up and, work or whatever that is para lang mag-survive ka just during that time na. But yes, I see how emergency fund is very important. All right? Should we move to number 4? Or you want to elaborate pa dun sa emergency fund mo?
Okay, sir. So number 4 naman natin, this is what we need to get protection. So me as a financial advisor from Sun Life, that's what we offer. But syempre kung na-visualize niyo na, sir, no? Step 1, step 2, step 3. Andun pa tayo sa number 4. Ibig sabihin, hindi tayo dumiretso agad with getting insurance on the onset, right?
Yeah.
Kasi as your financial advisor, dapat yung financial advisor niyo should understand where you are in terms of your protection requirement.
Okay.
So, kung ikaw ay single, you don't want to get an insurance policy na sobrang laki kasi dapat nag-start ka pa lang, right?
Yeah.
Or you don't want to get an insurance policy na hindi mo naman ma-manage as you progress. Pero there's this general rule in getting life protection. We need to protect ourselves from life SADs. So we call the risk as SAD. Sickness, accident, and death. So yun yung mga usual na mangyayari sa atin. So we have to expect na yan talaga mangyayari sa atin. Magkakasakit tayo, ma-aksidente tayo, or mamamatay tayo. So any of those three, right? But the practicality of everything, but we also need to be very, kumbaga, very comfortable talking about, our death and how do we plan about it, right?
Actually,
So
I'd like to share something about that because that is the most difficult part na we have to talk about starting pandemic. And sabi ko, marami na namamatay, hear the news. And at one point, sinabi ko sa asawa ko is, okay, the kids need to grow up now. Sabihin mo kung nasan mga to, nasan insurance natin, nasan yung mga accounts, nasan yung mga properties. Just in case. It's very difficult kasi iba bata pa, but yung minsan yung shock kasi like kung may namatay, 'di ba? Yung shock na paano na kami, paano na yun. Yan man kasi may bureaucracy pa rin eh. Namatay ka na, andiyan pa rin yung lalakarin mo yan. And mas mahirap kung wala kang maano kasi syempre pag sa ospital may babayaran ka, you will worry about money. Pag namatay ka, and then, di ba, magkano na ngayon yung funeral services, hindi na rin mura. Di ba? Plus pa ngayon, hindi ka ipapalibing. Minsan pag COVID is diretso cremate ka. Di ba? So, it was one of the difficult time nitong COVID pandemic na experience ko is talking to the kids about, just in case. Then what we realized na it's something they need to be comfortable with. Na kasi mahirap yung shock ka na and then you will be completely lost. Kasi di ba karamihan pag namatay unexpectedly is paano na kami? I mean, I've seen that sa TV, yung mga namatay na OFW, yung mga mag-anak sa atin, ini-interview na yun talagang worry nila kasi siya lang inaasahan. Paano na sila? Wala nang kumbaga sa suporta. And malungkot na isipin but it's something talaga na kailangan pag-usapan. Na I'm with you with that, like pagdating sa emergencies and stuff, you have to be very comfortable talking about it to your family kasi
yes.
It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when.
Yes.
hindi mangyayari sa hindi mangyayari sa akin, mangyayari yan sa iyo.
Yes.
It will be just a matter of when. So yes, I totally support yung yung sad. So sorry, na-interrupt kita. Go on with the sad, yung sickness, accidents, and death.
Yeah. So totoo yun, no, sir. Parang it's a humbling experience din kasi pag na ibigay mo yun sa kausap mo that this is very critical this conversation, and it's nice then that you and your family na nailagay niyo, I guess, in a form of paperwork, no, na parang alam nila kung saan nila i-access.
Nasa Dropbox.
Di ba?
Nasa family Dropbox. Andiyan na lahat. Kunin niyo yan.
That's a good practice. If I could share with you, may isang story sa US na I think in one Sunday morning, yung lalaki nagbike. Tapos sobrang ganda ng araw, pero hindi siya nakabalik bumaghapon, and then nalaman nung wife niya, may anak sila, nalaman ng wife niya na na-aksidente pala yung lalaki. And yung lalaki, I guess he prepared for everything, but hindi nila talaga na kumbaga hindi na-endorse yung mga paperworks. And yung babae has to go through the hassle of checking all the paperworks and all. I guess yung babae nag-put up siya ng website. Ang pangalan ay Get Your Ass, something like that, na parang ang the idea is for all the breadwinners to really make sure na nakaplan yung mga ito nakaplano to ha. The fact na
Mhm.
nakaplano to, what more pa kung hindi ka nakaplano? So if I could just go back dun sa SAD, I think we need to protect ourselves with, the chances of getting critically ill and, the horror stories of asking people for help. We get to see a lot of people sa Facebook na posting for, if you could,
Gcash.
for GCash and all that. Kasi
Uh-huh.
it's true, they really need help. I mean, you're not going to do that kung wala ka na talaga, right? So,
Yes.
and we don't want that kind of situation na dadating tayo sa ganung extent. Kasi there's a way for us to be able to, to protect ourselves. Not us kasi it's possible na mangyari talaga, but protect the income that we're generating. Kasi as soon as we get sick, we're not going to get paid for anything, right? And also the same goes with, getting accident. Kasi dalawa lang yung pwede mangyari dyan eh. Either maging disabled ka, hindi ka na makapagtrabaho, or talagang total death, right? And may mga insurance that could actually help you with a disability. And ultimately, yung death talaga yung pinaka protection talaga natin. Kasi we are not protecting ourselves away from that situation, but we are protecting the human economic value that we have. Kasi parang if you could picture yourself earning 100,000 a month, and all of a sudden tinanggal ka ni Lord sa mundo na to,
Yes.
it means that your family will not get the 100,000 every month they used to get.
Mhm.
So your human economic value amounting to 100,000 goes with you pag nailibing ka. And ideally, gusto natin pag umalis tayo dito, dapat maayos yung iiwanan natin, and we don't want them to think through things na iniwanan ako ng utang, binaon kami sa utang and all that, right? So that's not the good story that we want to leave as part of our legacy.
All right. Okay, so our number 4 is the get protection. Ano yung number 5 sa 5 steps to financial
Ayan.
confidence? Yeah.
Now, every time you move from one ladder to another, that's really building your confidence. Kasi halimbawa, yung number 1, okay, alam ko na yung gagawin ko, so I'll go to my number 2. Every time you move to the next ladder, that gives you that level of confidence. So the 5th one is really more on making the money work for you. So dito na papasok yung sa investment. So dahil ideally when you're in that phase already, naayos mo na yung mga finances mo dito sa umpisa, we're assuming that you have monies that you could actually get into different directions. So ito na yung nag-aayos ka na ng retirement mo, ito na yung naglalagay ka na siguro this is the best time for you to purchase real estate, because me working in real estate, it's a one must that everyone should have to to be able to really build their portfolio and put real estate as part of their portfolio. And not only that, we need to also think of and look for other options. Let's say, ang dami ng options, especially for our expats, no, saka OFWs. We have pera that's available to our OFWs that's non-taxable. I mean, for OFWs, I guess you could just open for 200,000 pesos in any
Yes, in
any bank, right?
Any
So
banks.
you can open how many pera accounts that you want to open. It's okay. So parang the idea with the 5th one is to really just shop around and really put your money in different baskets. Kasi when you retire, it's not that you are retired. Parang the idea of retirement, it's a long-term no employment, right?
Yes.
When you retire, dapat the idea is you're still going to get the same amount of money that you're getting every month. Kasi life doesn't stop when you retire.
Yeah, and we live longer na ngayon.
And that's the
That is the problem.
challenge. That's the challenge,
Problem.
right? Kasi parang this is a great question for our expats and our OFWs. When you go back here in Manila, when you go back to your hometown in the Philippines, and then you ask yourself, ano na yung next future ko? Ano na yung next life ko after my OFW stint? When you try to answer those questions, you think of it in a way na parang, okay, nakapag-ready ba ako for my retirement? Nakapag-pundar ba ako ng mga ganito? Nakapag-set ba ako ng different accounts that would help me supplement my retirement needs? Kasi when you retire at age 65, the next question is gaano ka katagal mabubuhay,
Yes.
right?
Oh, let me
And
add
you
on that.
don't
Yeah, let me add
go
to
ahead,
that,
sir.
Yuan. Kasi sa OFW kasi ang misconception namin lagi is, ang retirement is about wealth accumulation, and which is dapat talaga is income replacement. Because in a, sige, makaipon ako ng say 5 to 10 million during my stint as an OFW. But kung kukumputin mo sa calculator mo, like say, nakapag-ipon ako ng 10 million kunyari. Tapos, nag-retire ako ng 60. So, well, most people, sa OFW, 60, that's the time. Thank you for your service. Bye-bye. Here's your whatever severance pay. Thank you for your service. Balik ka na sa Pilipinas. So, sabihin natin, you made yourself or save yourself some 10 million. But if you divide me into 5 years, 60 months, like from 60 to 65, that will give you 166 a month. Diba? 60. Pero pag 120, which is 10 years, which hanggang 70 ka, meron kang 83,000. So kung dadagdagan ulit natin, 70 to, let's say, 20 years is 240 months. So up to 20 years, so that means 20, 60, 80. 80 years old ka na, hanggang 80 years old ka na, yung 10 million mo na naipon, it will only give you 41,000 every month. Okay? Kung hindi tumutubo yun, nasa bangko lang, kukunin mo every month, meron ka lang 41,000 hanggang 80 ka. So yung 40,000 mo, dun mo nakukunin lahat. Like mga property taxes mo. Kasi may bahay ka. Kung may sasakyan ka, dun mo kukunin yung insurance, parehistro.
Wala pa yung maintenance meds mo.
Maintenance mo. Tapos yung sa gamot mo, pangkain mo pala. That's what you have. Sa 10 million na naipon mo, you have 40,000 until you're 80. So you're saying, kung meron kang kumikita left and right, maybe you don't have to save 10 million. Kasi by the time na mag-60 ka na, kung naumpisahan mo yung whatever investment it is, kukunin mo na lang yung tutubuin nun. Kunyari, kung may paupahan ka, kukunin mo lang yung upa. Mawalan man may upa for some time, meron kong paghugutang isa. So, yun yung kasi, kung sakit. Hindi ko alam kung ganun lahat, OFW, but usually, sa experience ko, ganun lang ang inisip ng OFW, makaipon ng konti at makapag-negosyo sa atin. The problem is, yung nauwi mong pera, tapos ilalaban mo rin sa negosyo, sa tingin ko medyo delikado eh. Kasi paano kung hindi mag-work? At tapos doon mo pa rin kukunin yung income mo as yung daily income mo para sa family mo or sa wife mo kung kayong dalawa na lang. And ang problema pa ngayon dahil nga the economy, minsan pati anak mo at some point will ask for help, which is very true ngayon sa US. They go back to their parents' home kasi nga wala silang may bayad sa renta. So, kung senior ka na, dagdag na gastusin din yun. Kasi syempre, yung utilities mo, syempre, pagkain mo, hindi mo matitiis yan. Anak mo yan eh. Kung medyo nahirapan dahil sa whatever economic situation na nangyari. So what do you suggest dito sa, sa work for your money? Ano bang magandang steps na gawin ng OFW or plan para pag uwi talaga nila, medyo worry-free sila. May dumating man na kung ano-anong, bagyo sa buhay nila. May pagkukunan sila ng, panggastos or kung para sa ano man.
So, Sir Allen, di ba, ang kaibigan lang talaga natin, pwede natin siyang maging kaibigan or kalaban is actually time. So, if you're starting as a, as expat and OFW working abroad, you have so much time to, to really plan this out. Kumbaga, especially mga kabataan, no, na nag-abroad, no, um, marami silang time to really decide on saan nila dadalhin yung money nila. Pero at the same time, I also I also encourage not only yung mga kabataan but also yung mga nagtagal na rin sa abroad to really understand and see ano pa ba yung passion meron sila sa katawan nila that they can actually put into entrepreneurial spirit. Kasi I'd like to highlight yung sinabi niyo, no, living on interest. The idea when you retire, it's a nice idea that you're only getting money from all of your interest. And the interest won't be there if wala ka talagang naumpisahan to begin with.
Yeah.
So dapat talaga naumpisahan na. Paano yung mga hindi pa nakakapag-umpisa, like siguro inabot na ng 20, 30 years sa abroad, no? No, you still have time. You could actually work on this right now. But for the last 20, 30 years, you've been supporting your family. Decide today that, starting today, I'll be supporting myself. Kasi ang tagal-tagal ko na dito, dapat ako naman. And while you're doing that, you try to understand or try to discover yung mga bagong skills meron in life. Kasi maganda when you go back here in Manila, when you go back in your hometown, it's nice that you do your own business, and it's true, means nakakatakot din talaga kasi pero mas nakakatakot din talaga yung mawala ka na sa trabaho mo at nasa Pilipinas ka na, you're doing retirement. Kasi ako personally, sir, I really don't believe in retirement. I believe that even when you're done with your years, you're still going to work because that's your passion. So you need to find something that you can work until that will work for you kahit na uugod-ugod ka na and all that, kasi that gives you so much joy, that gives you so much energy. Doesn't need to be physically taxing and all that. Maybe ang tagal-tagal mo nang pinuput on hold yung passion mo about baking. Right? So maybe when you go back here in Manila, you do your own, like, kasi ilang buwan ba yung bakasyon pag bumabalik dito sa Pilipinas? Maybe 2 to 3 months, ganun ba katagal?
Like yung mga land-based, mahaba na yung 1 month. And
1 month, diba?
Yung mga seafarers natin, depende kung kailan minsan sila ulit kino-call out. And matagal na yung 2 months siguro. And then not all OFW would want to spend 2 months vacation kasi sa 1 month pala mauubos na yung pera niyan.
Tama.
So yes, like, let's say 1 month.
Oh, diba? Pero that's the best time then for you to really test. Kasi kumbaga, if you have 1 month, well, most of the time kasi mga OFWs would really want to explore and spend time with their family, but find time to, kumbaga, test mo lang ano ba yung mga pwede kong pagkakitaan. If I could share with you, sir, meron akong isang client na nasa cruise ship siya.
Okay.
Is parang chef and all that. And hindi na siya nakabalik kasi hanggang ngayon
mahirapan pa rin yung sa cruise ship.
Pero ang nakakatuwa sa kanila, they put up a vegan made to order online selling, and it's so amazing na yun lang yung ginagawa nila this time, and they're thriving kasi they were able to find passion naman niya talaga yung magluto. Pero ako I can see to it na parang even if beyond age 60, 65, they're to be doing that kasi that what keeps them energized. So we really need to find something that's very we're going to excel in terms of passion, and that passion can actually be turned into an entrepreneurial pursuit. And ako siguro ang challenge ko rin sa mga OFWs and expats natin when we get back here in Manila is try to employ more Filipinos kasi if you can employ put business, you're helping the nation in building this new workforce.
All right. So, well, that's interesting, Yuan. And hopefully, yung mga OFWs natin, you know, took notes dun sa 5 steps to financial confidence. So if you have more questions, you're free to contact Yuan. He's available. And well, I leave it to Yuan. Invite them for a Zoom meeting or sa email, kung ano man, how to reach you if they want to, talk about products, financial products from Sun Life. And meron ka bang mga products na gustong i-promote for our OFWs? Like yung mga tipong force savings scheme.
For saving.
Yeah, ng mga kasi as OFW, yun yung nakikita kong advantage na type na savings, yung hindi mo na makikita yung pera. Obligado kang hulugan, magagamit mo siya in the far future na. Kasi kung sa bangko, lalo ngayon, di ba, yung financial technology natin, kahit ilagay mo sa bangko, mahuhugot mo, malilipat mo sa GCash, may pa sa shopping mo. So, as OFW, ang pinakamagandang way para sa akin is like yung hindi ko mahahawakan.
Hindi siya accessible.
Hindi siya accessible. So if you have may mga ganun products si Sun Life, if you can share with them.
Sure. Well, with that, sir, after the financial planning, we'll give you recommendation. Pero for everyone's appreciation, maybe you can also check yung mga VUL products namin, which we call Variable Universal Life. Mm-hmm. If the intent is to put a portion of your salary into your policy, and at the same time gives you protection in case of death or natural death, the money that will be given to you will be guaranteed amount plus your projected benefits coming from the investment. So yung investment is not guaranteed, pero the habit of just putting in the money every time you pay, it grows over time. So sooner or later, when you're ready to retire, after maybe 10, 20, 30 years, meron ka nang makukurot from your fund value, and that would supplement your retirement. May mga products din, Sir Allen, about health insurance that would give you guaranteed benefits if ma-diagnose kayo ng any critical illnesses. In that way, you don't need to liquidate your property, you don't need to ask for help kasi Sun Life will give the guaranteed amount to you directly, and it's up to you whether you'd like to use it for your pagpapagaling. Mm-hmm. And also you get paid when you confine yourself in a hospital. Kasi diba during confinement hindi ka kumikita. So while being confined, you're actually being paid. There are so many features and benefits of that, what we call health insurance. But we also have other products like endowment plan, which gives you a guaranteed amount of money upon reaching a certain age of your policy. Maybe let's say after 60 years paying your policy, you'll get a guaranteed amount, and then it gives you the guaranteed amount every 2 years thereafter, up to lifetime. So I call it pamana plan kasi okay siya na binibigay sa mga anak. Oo, so halimbawa, meron kang 0-year-old, yung anak mo starting at age 6 will get a guaranteed amount hanggang buhay yung bata. Kahit matanda ka na, lolo ka na, may anak na yung anak mo, hanggat buhay yung anak mo na pinangalan mo yung policy will get that guaranteed amount. But at the same time, you are protected. So those are the products and services that I usually give. Also, we have straight investment account mismo, yung mismong talagang gusto mo lang talaga ng investment. You can actually open an investment policy or investment account with Sun Life via mutual funds.
All right, there you go. Mga co-OFW, if you're in country, I do recommend na mag-spend ka na isang araw kasi mostly mga financial advisors natin is nasa Manila alam ko hindi naman tayo lahat taga Maynila or excited tayo makita ang pamilya natin sa mga probinsya. Pero if you can spend isang araw lang, pasyal-pasyal kayo sa Makati ba kayo base? Or BGC sa Makati?
Makati and BGC.
And BGC, pasyal-pasyal kayo. And I'm sure may pakape naman sila. Hindi nyo naman kailangan ilibre yung mga financial. Then, spend one day, talk to them.
Yeah.
Kasi you can only sign on to this kind of product sa Philippines eh. Hindi ito yung pwedeng i-email lang sa inyo, pipirmahan nyo. So kung mag-open na yung borders natin, maka-bakasyon na or mag-normalize na travel matapos itong pandemic or kahit normal silang ng konti, makauwi tayo. Spend time with them. Wala namang mawala. At hindi naman lahat mahal, di ba? May mga products na talagang tailored lang sa income mo. Hindi pag sinabing investments, kailangan malaki na kagad. Yun yung kasi, kumbaga, misconception natin, ay, mga pamayaman lang yan. But I've seen na meron tayong mga 3,000 a month lang. May mga ganon, 3,000 to 4,000. Which hindi naman mabigat sa mga OFW. Minsan, yun lang yung lamer, portion lang yun ng Yamerda Fund mo eh, di ba? Kumbaga, pwede mo siguro i-sakripisyo muna, para sa future.
That's true.
So, any last words you want sa ating show for today?
Yeah. So, mga kababayan, you don't need to be face-to-face when you do your consultation with your financial advisor. We can do Zoom meeting. You can ask your financial advisors to do Zoom meeting. If you're based outside the Philippines, do not sign any policy because that would be ma-forfeit siya. Hindi siya i-honor ng insurance company na sinign up niyo. So you have to be here in Manila. That's true yung sasabi ni Sir Alan. And so you can also reach out to me. My page is the Financial Wellness Guy. I post mga financial contents in that page. But you can also contact me on my personal page, Yuan Pancho on Facebook. And siguro I'll just give you my email address on part ng comment natin dito sa ating YouTube. And I want to thank you, Sir Alan, for really putting up this show. I know that this is a great service to our kababayan and to our OFWs to really just have this kind of, this kind of conversation, and for them to be able to really achieve that level of confidence in their finances.
Thank you, Yuan, for taking time. And hindi pa to. I hope this will not be our last show.
Yes.
Marami pa tayong pag-uusapan eh. So, there'll be a time na, okay, ano ba yung pwede pa nating i-discuss sa ating mga OFWs na makakatulong na, sa future nila, sa retirement, or sa current situation nila. I'm sure marami kasi pagdating sa financial aspect, ang dami nating pwedeng pag-usapan dyan. So, thank you for joining me today dito sa ating show. And guys, feel free to contact Yuan. Available po siya. He's very insightful and very accommodating si Yuan kasi Yuan is actually my financial advisor assigned to me by Sun Life. Kaya ako siya nakilala eh. Out of the blue, minessage niya ako kung ako ba to, ganyan-ganyan. Sabi ko, okay, ako yan. Bakit? Ano meron? Sabi niya, sir, may pera ka. Sabi ko, anong pera? Wala naman akong pera. Wala akong pera. Sabi ko, okay, may pera pala ako. Yung pala, yung sinign up ng asawa ko, long back, kumbaga may bawi na yung fund na.
Doble
sa akin, kung gusto mo kunin mo na pero wag mo kunin, saglit lang yan. Mauubos ka agad. But yeah, yun ang sinasabi ko na you just pay or contribute and you forget about it, and then sometime along the line, Yuan Pancho will contact you. Nasabi, oy,
Yeah.
sir, ito na pala yung fund nyo, ganyan-ganyan. I mean, it's not that big, but yung kunyari may mga emergencies ka, it's big enough na makapag-start ka ng business. Or it's enough siguro makapag pa-hospital man lang or may pambayad sa mga emergencies na hindi mo alam at the back of your head na meron ka palang ganun, which is very reassuring ngayong pandemic. So, nung kinontak niya ako dati nga, sinulat ko na yun. Sabi ko, okay, meron pala akong ganito. So, I put it na kung ano yung, kasi akala ko, my wife kasi, nung una akong nag-abroad talaga, hindi ko alam talagang, sinign up niya na ako sa mga, protection plan, yung mga and ngayon mo lang may isip. Ngayon mo lang siya may isip na, okay, buti na lang. May ganon. Because,
buti lang nag-decide ka pala, sir.
Nung
time na yon.
Nung time na yon, may ganon. Kasi, ang niya kasi dati, ang reasoning niya, sabi niya, which is very morbid na pag-usapan usually sa mga couple. Sabi niya, bakit pinapabayaan mo sa akin kaagad to? Sabi niya sa akin dati, paano kung namatay ka? Paano kami? May mga ganon. It's very straightforward na sinabi niya sa akin yun. But you don't see the value of it kung hindi nagkaroon ng pandemic or kung hindi nagkaroon ng financial crisis na So, yeah. I invite you, lalo yung mga bata nating OFW, napapansin ko rito, pabata ng pabata yung nag-abroad. So, it's the time na talaga. Medyo siguro, alam ko, yung mga bata, medyo may gustong puntahang, hotel or bansa or resort, bansa, may pasyalan. But if you can find, a small amount kinikita mo and then i-channel mo sa mga ganitong financial products or investments or protection, it will take care of you sa future eh. Yep. Hindi mo masikita yung value niyan ngayon, but once na tumanda ka, thank God, meron pala akong ganito, meron pala akong ganyan. So, thank you, Yuan, for sharing your inputs. And I hope our fellow OFWs will find this inspiring sa and we'll have more of Yuan Pancho, don't worry. And thank you again. Wala na akong masabi. It's been a very good show. And sa mga natin, please like our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Subscribe and do contact Yuan if you need any advice, financially, kung ano man. Contact Yuan Pancho of Sun Life Philippines. Thank you, Yuan.
Thank you, sir.